I remember the hospital from when I was a kid. Patient records lived in large, old filing cabinets, all of it on paper. And when you needed something, you couldn't just get it. Whenever doctors needed a patient's history, someone had to walk to medical records and find the paper files. At times, they had to send for it to another building. It could take minutes or even hours. The data existed, but you couldn't get it when you needed it. Data was simply not accessible in real time. Today, that same hospital streams patient data to every workstation in real time. So, what is the difference? It's simply how data is ingested and made available. The hospital moved from waiting for records in filing cabinets to having real-time streams of information everywhere. It changes how you can access the information that you need. You go from delay and frustration to immediate, actionable data right when you need it. The core problem is simple. Data exists, but it's not where you need it when you need it. The static way is familiar. Data sits in filing cabinets, databases, or external systems, and you wait for it. The streaming way is different. Data flows in real time to where it's needed, and as a result, you have full control over it. We are going to explore how that hospital transformed and what we can learn from it. When we talk about taking control of data ingestion, we are talking about four key dimensions. First, is the data correct and complete? For example, are all the blood pressure readings in one place so the doctor can see the full picture, or do they have to hunt down every blood pressure report to figure out hypertension? Second, can you work with it as is, or do you need to transform it? Third, do you get it when you need it, or are you at the mercy of the circumstances? Think about it. Do we wait for the patient to bleed out while someone runs to get their allergy records, what medicines they can't have? And fourth, do you have access to it when you need it, or do you have to ask permission? These four dimensions, quality, format, timing, and access, determine whether you are in control or waiting on someone else. Before ingestion, you are at the mercy of external systems, just like those filing cabinets in that old hospital. Data quality is someone else's responsibility. Data format is often determined by external systems. Data timing is controlled by a variety of external factors. And data access is convoluted at times and mostly depends on external permissions. In that old hospital, when a doctor needed information, they waited. Sometimes minutes, sometimes hours. The data existed, but it wasn't easily and quickly accessible. That's what happens when you don't have control. Now, after ingestion, you take control, like that modern hospital where data flows in real time. Data quality becomes your responsibility. You can validate and clean it up. Data can be transformed to your needs. You shape it how you want. Data timing is driven by your data pipeline, and you decide when and how fast. And lastly, data access is under your purview. You control who sees what and when. Data ingestion fundamentally changes your world. Before, we'll get the data when they send it, like waiting for someone to bring you the file. And after, we control how data flows into our systems. So, how do we get there? We are going to learn how to transform from waiting on filing cabinets to controlling real-time data streams. First, what methods exist today? And which ones keep you stuck in the old way? So, what are the traditional methods for data ingestion? These are suboptimal methods that unfortunately often break the real-time flow of data. Custom connectors are code or integrations you build to pull data from specific systems, your CRM, a legacy app, or internal APIs, when there is no off-the-shelf connector. They are often one-off, application-specific, and tend to be batch-oriented or polling-based. Traditional query-based change data capture (CDC) methods are designed to detect changes on the back end, but many of them are batch-oriented or polling-based as well. Batch or cron jobs are scheduled data copying operations that execute hourly or daily, clearly not great when we need our data with low latency or in real time. Now, the good news is that there are better ways to do all this. Kafka Connect gives you a declarative way to set up real-time streaming from a variety of backend systems. There's no shortage of connectors. There are hundreds of them available for you to choose from. For example, Confluent Marketplace offers more than 200 connectors built by more than 50 companies. Event-driven CDC is triggered by data changes in the database. Debezium is an open-source example for real-time CDC. And streaming platforms like Kafka enable real-time data streaming. So here's a design principle for you. Even when the upstream source is batch-oriented, you should design your pipeline as streaming. You get to use those same stream processing tools and logic you're building for streaming sources. This way, you'll be ready as soon as the source can support streaming. Sometimes the best ingestion is no ingestion. The ideal case is when data is already in Kafka or other streaming platforms. No ingestion delay maintains real-time flow, maximum control. When we talk about ingestion patterns, what really matters is not about when data arrives. It's about what you can do with it once it arrives. That's where control really matters. With scheduled and batch patterns, pull, polling, batch jobs, data arrives on a schedule. You can only process what you've received when you've received it. Real-time processing is not an option. You're locked into scheduled processing, like those filing cabinets. You wait for the data, then you process it. That's your only option. On the other hand, with event-driven and streaming patterns, data arrives as life happens in real time. You can process it immediately, buffer it, batch it later. All options are open. The data is there, and you decide what to do with it. Streaming gives you maximum control because you control what happens after data arrives. Batch constrains you because you can't process in real time. That option is close to you. So we started with that old hospital. Paper, filing cabinets, everything manual. Delayed care, frustrated staff. And we saw what it looks like when data flows in real time, automated. You're in control. Better care, better experience. The conclusion is pretty simple. Waiting for yesterday's data rarely makes sense anymore. Not, do I need real time, but can I afford not to have it? One last thought. Even if your sources are still batch today, building for streaming pays off. Same logic everywhere, and you are ready for real time when the switch is flipped.